Are you or a loved one worried or concerned about falling? As you may or may not know, falls in the United States are on the rise. Today we are going to discuss some of the risk factors that may be associated with the fall and offer you some tips and tricks that you could possibly do to reduce your risk of falling. My name is Adrian Cagigas. I'm a licensed athletic trainer with the Washington State Department of Health. I hold a certification from the National Athletic Trainers Association and have a master's degree in kinesiology. I've been practicing athletic training for almost 25 years now and have a very strong interest in senior fitness. The information that I'll be presenting with you today is not meant to scare you in any way. It's simply more to inform you on what you could potentially do to reduce your risk of falling. According to the CDC, 1 in 3 individuals over the age of 65 will fall annually, and individuals over the age of 80 have a 50% likelihood of falling. The significant part about this is if you fall once, you have a greater propensity to fall more than once in that year. 800,000 people in 2015 were hospitalized with fall-related injuries, including head injuries, fractures, lacerations, and unfortunately death. So what I would like to do today is discuss some of the risks that are directly associated with the falls and offer you some pointers or tips and tricks that you can do to reduce your risk of falling. According to the National Institute of Health, falls don't happen just because you get older. Often there is 1 or 2 underlying causes or risk factors directly associated with the fall. I would like to break down these risk factors into 2 separate categories. One risk factor being extrinsic or environmental, the second being physiological or intrinsic. Some of the extrinsic or environmental risk factors you can potentially change starting with your home or how you get around during your daily life. Some of those risk factors may or may not include poor lighting in your hallways or bathrooms, loose rugs. Many of us have rugs on the floor and they might slip out from under you. Loose or improperly fitted footwear or clothing. You could trip over that. Or improper fitted ergonomic aids such as improperly fitted walkers, lack of handrails in your bathrooms and or hallways. In terms of the physiological risk factors or intrinsic risk factors, strength, balance, gait, motor reaction times, cognitive issues, those are all things that are happening inside of us physiologically. So what can we do to reduce our risk physiologically? Well, number 1, let's look at our balance. A lot of people throw the term balance around as kind of just a term like, oh, I don't feel like I have good balance today. Well, what is balance physiologically? Balance physiologically is comprised of 3 separate systems. We have our visual system. We look around, we scan the ground, we instantly get information to our brain with our current surrounding. We have our inner ear system or our vestibular system, which allows head position and allows our brain to know where we are when we're standing up or just in space. And thirdly, we have our somatosensory or proprioceptive system. Big fancy words, I know, but all those words mean is that allows our body to know where we are in space, essentially through contact on the ground. So not only is balance important, but the way in which we walk is very important. The new evidence-based research has shown that the quicker we can walk, the lower risk of falling we are. So now that we've covered balance and walking, let's talk about cognitive decline. Neuroscience has found new programming called neuroplasticity that has shown to enhance one's ability to move through space much more efficiently and effectively. Many seniors will have some form of cognitive decline as they age. If the brain's primary function is to control human movement and we stop moving, we could potentially actually make our cognitive decline increase at a much higher rate. Another physiological risk factor associated with falling is visual impairment. Our visual system is our primary link right to the brain. So we use our eyes to scan around and see what's going on. And if we can't see as well, we are actually at a greater risk for falling. That leads us into motor and reaction timing issues. If you, for example, get out of your car and want to walk across the street, you don't exactly say, oh, I'm gonna walk across the street and step up on the curb. Your brain visually is processing all this information and you can react to any changes that happen inside the environment that you are in. The last physiological risk factor that I'd like to discuss is medications, and we do not want you to stop taking your medications. Always consult your physician before you make any changes to your medications. But just know that if you take 4 or more medications, you are at a higher risk for falling. Now that we've covered your overall extrinsic or environmental risk factors and intrinsic or physiological risk factors for falling, let's talk about what you can do to reduce your risk of falling. Current evidence-based research has shown that you can reduce your risk of falling by up to 34%. Now, how do you do that? That's what everybody wants to know, right? Number one, reduce your environmental risk factors. Number two, reduce your physiological risk factors. And number three, you need to start moving. Before you start moving or exercising, you need to consult your physician. Make sure that you get cleared by your doctor before you start in any fitness regimen. I would really recommend that you find a licensed healthcare provider or a certified personal trainer with a programming background in senior fitness. Especially if you're over the age of 90, for example, you're going to need somebody with a level of expertise that will understand your body orthopedically, that's your joints. They're going to need to understand your heart or blood medications if you're on those. They're going to need to know if you're diabetic or not. So there's a lot of systems that are in play here that you are going to need somebody with a lot of experience to take care of you because you're scared, you're on the couch, you don't want to move, and you need somebody that's going to take care of you so that you stay safe and healthy and live a longer, healthy lifestyle. Strength training has been proven to be the best thing for you. I want you guys to start off with a really light resistance program. That could be something as simple as adding some lightweight resistance bands into your day or some free weights. Also, you want to work on flexibility and mobility. Most people sit in a chair and they're at 90 degrees of hip flexion and 90 degrees of knee flexion. And if you were to stand up, you would be actually being seated in a chair standing up. That's terrible posture. So remember when you were a kid, your mom said, sit up tall and have good posture. I want you guys to really focus on your posture and work on standing up and getting up out of your chair. Lastly, we want to work on some form of cardiovascular or breathing exercises, okay? For those of you that have Parkinson's, your physicians prescribe to you your AEIOUs. Those are actually facial exercises as well as breathing exercises that help to open up our lungs and get lots of oxygen into our system. So strength training, flexibility training, mobility training, breathing training, all those things are going to help you and help your body physiologically become stronger so that you can navigate through space more effectively, and you can perform your activities of daily living more effectively. Some companies like Prestige Senior Living offer fall reduction programs. Senior fitness exercise programming is essential for reducing your risk of falls. Remember, we talked about those physiological risk factors such as improving your strength, improving your balance, improving your flexibility, and improving your cognition. I know about Prestige Senior Living because I actually designed the exercise classes that you could be taking. And I can tell you that they're fabulous. Our wellness coaches do a tremendous job at getting our residents and non-residents more mobile. So we're talking about strengthening the parts of your body that need to help you walk more efficiently, balance more efficiently, think more efficiently, and live a healthier, active lifestyle. To learn more, visit www.prestigecare.com and find the location nearest you. I hope that you have found this video to be informative, and I hope that we have offered you some tips and tricks that you can do to reduce your overall risk for falling. Remember, there's something you can do about it, and falls don't just happen because you get older. So I encourage you to get off the couch, stay active, and move more.